If you're thinking about the safety position and wondering whether Minkah Fitzpatrick's spot should be filled by someone worthy of his talent, the name Justin Simmons naturally comes to mind. Simmons, a seasoned veteran, is currently a free agent, and while he may not be at the peak of his career anymore, he still carries a reputation that makes teams take notice. Approaching his 32nd year in the league, Simmons' recent stats aren't exactly jaw-dropping, but they're far from disappointing. He ended the last season with 2 interceptions, pushing his career total to 32, which is impressive in its own right. Add to that 7 passes defended and 62 tackles, and you get a solid, reliable safety who's seen it all. However, it's also true that for the first time in 6 years, he wasn't selected for the Pro Bowl, and he missed out on an All-Pro nod for the first time in 3 seasons. That doesn't mean he suddenly fell off a cliff, far from it, but it does mark a subtle shift in his career trajectory. What makes Simmons' situation particularly interesting is that despite his years in the NFL, he has never played in a playoff game. Not a single snap in postseason action. And that's a unique story in a league filled with talented players who have at least tasted the playoffs. Even if briefly, Simmons has been vocal about his desire to join a contender, not just to get into the playoffs, but to ultimately win a Super Bowl. When he talks about that goal, it feels genuine and not just a cliche. His quest to be part of a winning culture adds a layer of intrigue to his free agency, especially since he's mentioned specific teams, including the Eagles, as places he'd consider. The Steelers, however, haven't been named among his suitors, at least publicly. That brings up the question, why wouldn't the Steelers, who clearly have a need of free safety after Fitzpatrick's departure, pursue Simmons more aggressively? It's not like the team is flush with established options at that position. Juan Thornhill is on the roster, but his track record is shaky due to injuries, and he hasn't exactly inspired confidence. If the Steelers truly believed Thornhill was the answer at free safety, they wouldn't have signed him to a 1-year, low-risk deal at the start of free agency. It's pretty clear they brought him in for depth rather than to be a long-term solution. So if Simmons is available and has expressed a desire to join a contender, and the Steelers have a glaring hole to fill, what's holding them back? Of course, it's hard to know the full picture behind closed doors. Maybe Simmons is waiting for a perfect fit, or maybe other teams have passed on him after evaluations. There's always the possibility that the Steelers front office looked at Simmons and decided he wasn't the right match, either financially or schematically. But it feels unlikely that all 32 teams missed an opportunity to court him seriously. For a player of Simmons' caliber and experience to still be unsigned this late suggests that something is holding back the process. Still, it's difficult to believe that the Steelers will stand pat when it comes to their secondary and the wide receiver 2 spot. The team is clearly building for immediate success, especially with the addition of Aaron Rodgers. The presence of a future franchise quarterback in the pipeline, whether it's someone drafted recently or a young prospect like Will Howard, shifts the urgency of the roster decisions. The Steelers are not looking to merely tread water. They want to contend right now, and the composition of their roster reflects that mindset. When you examine the current contracts on the team, there's a clear pattern of 1-year deals and short-term commitments, especially for veteran players. This strategy signals a win-now approach rather than long-term rebuilding. In that context, it's puzzling why the team would not aggressively pursue a proven free safety like Simmons if the goal is to win now. The salary cap space is there, and it's expected to grow once TJ Watt signs his contract extension. So why save free agency dollars for future seasons when the team's ambition is to be competitive this very season? The answer is probably that the Steelers evaluators have a clear vision of what they want and who fits best. Maybe they believe Thornhill can step up, or perhaps there's a younger player ready to seize the moment. But from an outsider's perspective, betting on depth players or uncertain prospects at such a critical position feels risky. This dilemma extends beyond just free safety. The wide receiver 2 position remains unsettled. It's not as if the Steelers have a standout player locked in there. There are candidates on the roster, but none has consistently proven to be a reliable number 2 receiver capable of making an impact week in and week out. And with Aaron Rodgers now under center, the demands on the receiving core increase. Rodgers needs weapons he can trust, especially in clutch moments. The pressure is on the front office to assemble a supporting cast that can help the veteran quarterback maximize his effectiveness. At the same time, the team might not have the luxury of locking up long-term deals across the board. Some of the recent arrivals and key veterans are still on short contracts. This makes the cap situation a bit of a juggling act where every move has to be carefully considered. It's not just about signing the best player available, but making sure the roster remains flexible enough to accommodate future moves, including the eventual drafting or development of the next franchise quarterback. Now, circling back to Simmons, it's clear that signing him isn't a simple yes or no proposition. There's no suggestion he should be handed a blank check or treated as the only answer at free safety. Nor does Thornhill emerge as the obvious solution. The reality is somewhere in between. If there's ever been a season where a team could afford to take a chance on a veteran safety of Simmons' caliber, even with the uncertainty around age and recent performance, this might be it. The combination of an urgent win-now mentality and a hole at a key defensive position makes for a compelling case. But beyond just Simmons, the bigger picture is how the Steelers handle their overall roster construction. The presence of Aaron Rodgers dramatically alters the team's trajectory. Suddenly, winning takes precedence over patience or slow rebuilding. This mindset affects every roster decision, from the defensive backs to the offensive skill players. The days of relying on hopeful prospects or short-term stopgaps feel numbered. When you think about the future, the Steelers might not have the luxury of maintaining a roster built around uncertainty. The chance to compete for a championship with a future Hall of Famer quarterback is too rare to waste on roster gambles that don't align with immediate success. This means that the front office must weigh every move carefully, balancing the need to fill holes with the desire to keep flexibility for key signings and draft capital. So while Justin Simmons may or may not end up in Pittsburgh, his situation serves as a fascinating case study of how teams in transition evaluate veteran talent. Do you prioritize experience and proven ability, even if it means taking on some risk? Or do you opt for youth and potential, hoping they develop into reliable contributors down the line? The Steelers' choices in the coming weeks will reveal their true approach to that question. Shifting the spotlight from the defensive backfield to the offensive line, it becomes clear that the Steelers are navigating a complex landscape when it comes to developing young talent while trying to maintain competitiveness. The offensive line is often the backbone of any football team, and Pittsburgh's current group is no exception. But the progress and challenges this unit faces reflect a broader story about the team's rebuilding efforts and their hopes for immediate success with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. Among the young players on the line, there's a trio that draws a lot of attention: Zach Frazier, Mason McCormick, and Brick Broad. The question many fans and analysts are asking is, why do we have more faith in Frazier and McCormick than in Broad? And to be honest, it's a fair point. These decisions aren't made lightly, but they're based on what's been shown on the field, the scouting reports, and the development each player has undergone so far. Zach Frazier stands out as a reliable anchor. He's widely regarded as one of the top centers in the league and has the kind of composure and technique that coaches love. His ability to remain steady under pressure and avoid mental lapses is a huge asset, especially in a division known for fierce pass rushers. Frazier isn't the kind of player who crumbles when the heat is on, and that quality can't be overstated. It's no surprise that he's become a key piece of the Steelers' offensive puzzle, someone who can steady the line and help the offense find rhythm. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are swirling around the NFL as rumors emerge about a potential game-changing addition to the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line. Creed Humphrey, the highly regarded center, might be joining the Steelers, sparking excitement about what this could mean for the team's offense, and notably for quarterback Aaron Rodgers. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the chatter among insiders suggests that the Steelers could be making a move to secure Humphrey's talents, a player known for his precision snaps and ability to anchor a powerful offensive front. Humphrey, who has been recognized as one of the most reliable centers in the league, is said to bring a new level of stability and intelligence to the Steelers' offense. The brain of any attack, the center's role is crucial in ensuring the quarterback receives clean, flawless snaps to execute plays without hesitation. With Rodgers in the pocket, renowned for his sharp decision-making and quick release, the addition of a center like Humphrey could be the missing piece in achieving offensive perfection. The buzz hints that Humphrey's arrival in Pittsburgh could mean more than just solid blocking. It could guarantee Rodgers the perfect snap, eliminating the slight delays or mishaps that sometimes disrupt the flow of a play. In a league where split-second timing matters, this kind of precision could elevate the Steelers' offensive output and make them a more formidable opponent. Speculation is rife that this potential acquisition is part of a broader strategy by the Steelers to rejuvenate their offense around Rodgers, who has been seeking the right support system to maximize his legendary skill set. Humphrey's leadership and consistency in the center position might be exactly what the Steelers need to unlock a new level of cohesion and power on the field. As fans and analysts eagerly watch for confirmation, the mere possibility of Creed Humphrey stepping into the Steelers lineup has already sparked a fresh wave of enthusiasm and optimism. If the rumors prove true, this could mark a turning point for the Steelers' offense, combining Rodgers' elite quarterbacking with Humphrey's flawless snaps to create a truly unstoppable attack. For now, the NFL community waits in suspense, hoping this perfect union might soon become reality. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.